Good morning. So I've got my fizz stick. Can't cope without my fizz stick. Although my citrus is the favourite. But pomegranate just mixes it up a little bit. You can have them hot or cold. Delicious. So today's question is, I don't have enough time. Now, this is something that quite a lot of people have been sending me since they've been sending me in different questions to address. But I've kind of addressed the other questions first because there seems to have been quite a lot more for those. But I've had a constant stream of, I don't have enough time is something that a lot of people hear. So I'm going to address that. I've got my slippers on, ready to address it, just to set the scene. Working from home, kids are running around. I'm on my way I'm going to do the school run in a few minutes. So I don't have enough time. Now, I get this because when I was looking at starting my own business, using Arbonne products and recommending them to other people, I didn't have any spare time. I definitely was not walking around the house thinking, oh gosh, I've got like 3 hours a day spare. I need to fill it. Like, I did not have any spare time. And I'll be honest, in the 2.5 years that I've been building my business, I have yet to meet one person that tells me that they've got some spare time and they don't know what to do with it and they are looking to fill it. That's never happened. Everybody I've spoke to, and that's thousands and thousands of people, and not just who I've personally spoken to, but as you know, as the network grows, you speak to other people within the network. I've yet to meet somebody that says that they just had some spare time and they didn't know what to do with it. Everybody's busy. Everybody is busy. Okay, so if you speak to somebody and they say they don't have enough time, or if you're watching this and you feel like you don't have enough time, you're a normal person. Everybody's busy. Everybody fills up their 24 hours a day, their 7 days a week with things to do. And then in the time where they don't have things to do, they're recharging their batteries, sitting watching TV, trying to play with the kids, trying to do the kids' homework, trying to clean, trying to just get recharged again. So when I was looking at an Arbonne business, what I was looking for was to have financial freedom so that I could afford to pay for a cleaner, so I could afford to go on holidays, so that I could never have to say no again to the things that I wanted to say yes to, and to have the time to be able to do the things that I spontaneously wanted to do. I wanted to have one of those lives where I get up in the morning, take the kids to school, and then say to my husband, should we go out for lunch today? Or, should we go and do this today? Or I wanted to have one of the lives where if somebody said to me, do you want to go on a weekend breakaway with all the kids to Centre Parks? And me go, yeah. I wanted to have the time to be able to do that and the money to be able to do that. And when I was working at the opticians, I definitely didn't have the time to do any of that because I could only have 4 weeks off a year in different blocks, and I couldn't have any time off that anybody else had time off already. So my time was dictated to me by somebody else. So, and it was the same when my husband was employed as well. Obviously he's left his job now because of Arbonne, but when he was employed, he would have to ask for time off, and he could only have certain amounts of time off. And to be honest, most of the time off that he used for when our daughter was in hospital. So he never really had any flexibility with his own life. And we want to own our lives. So we want to own our lives. And if you don't own your life, then that means that you have to ask where you want to be when you want to be somewhere. Like if you want to have an afternoon off to go for tea with your parents or whoever, if you have to ask somebody else for your own time, then you don't own your life. And I didn't own my life. I had to ask for my own time to do the things that I wanted to do. The same for my husband. So although I didn't have any time, I wanted it. I absolutely wanted it. Now, I will say that most people live their life to retirement not owning their life, and I'm not judging, because if that's where they want to be, then that's where they want to be. And most people are quite comfortable just having 4 weeks off a year, somebody else owning their life and asking for time off, and not having the ability to say, yes, I want to do this, and yes, I've got the money and the time, I'm all in. Most people don't. Okay, so if you are looking at this as a business and thinking, do you know what? I don't actually mind having to just ask for those 4 weeks off a year from my boss. I don't actually mind saying no to my friends when they're all going to do something fun. And I don't mind that I can't go to someone's wedding abroad spontaneously because I can't get time off work and I can't pay for it. If that's you, then that's okay. No one's judging people that are like that, because most people are. Most people will live to retirement not having their life owned and just sit plodding along, comfortably, and that's all right, that's okay. But for me, that was not okay. I was not okay with that for my life, and I constantly say this. I did not want to be the person whose funeral was somebody was up saying, Danny Wells, good mum, good wife. Yeah. I want somebody to get up there and say, Danny Wells, oh my God, she was out there, she was out of her comfort zone, she was doing this, she was doing that, she was building an absolute fortune, she was building something that helped people, she was volunteering because she had the time, she was giving to all these charities because she had the money, she was inspiring people, she was speaking even though she had no confidence in the beginning, she was growing that, she was inspiring her children, you know, these little girls were watching her, they're watching now, look, here they are, loitering ready for the school run. And I want people to say that about me, to say, you know, she had some enormous challenges to overcome, but my gosh, did she overcome them. Those are the things that I want people to say. I want people to say she fell flat on her face, embarrassed, but she was up again the next day, ready to take it back on again. That's the kind of things I wanted to be said about my life. I wanted to be able to take my family on day trips out, weekends away, holidays, without having to ask anybody for my time. No one owns my life. No, thank you. I own my life. Nobody else. I am not asking anybody so that for a day off of my own life. No way. No way. I have been employed for in total now about 15 years, and it's only the past 2 years that I've said no. I'm done with that. I'm done. And I will never, ever, ever be employed by anybody else in my entire life again. I am never, ever asking for my own time from anybody else. I'm not. And my husband's not either. He's left his job and he's set up his own business. Now, I'm not judging other people that do, and I definitely am not. I've worked for 15 years, and it's only in the past couple of years that I've found this business, and I've decided that this fills my emotional needs. This is who I am, and I don't mind what other people do, but for me, it's not okay for my life, and it's not okay for my children's lives. And I want to inspire my children that they own their lives. They're not owned by anybody else. They're not owned by a boss. They're not owned by building somebody else's dream. They own their life. And the only way I will be okay if they are working for somebody else is if that is genuinely what they want to do. If they want to work for the NHS as a doctor or a nurse or something like that, if that's genuinely what they want to do, they've got my full support. But they are not going to go and work for somebody else just for a paycheck. No way. There is so many other better ways to build a paycheck that actually fill you with joy. The only way that they'll work for somebody else with my support is if that is what they genuinely have a passion for and what they want to do. They're not just working for somebody for a paycheck, because there's better ways to do that. So I didn't have any time, but I was sick of having somebody else own my life. So before I even knew how I was going to do this, because I didn't have the time, I already decided I was doing it. So how I fitted it in was basically, because with Arbonne we use different products, so we use a different brand, Arbonne products, better products, so I just switched what I was using. So instead of going to the supermarket for say 1 hour every week buying all my personal care products, I shopped online once a month. So that already saved me a little bit of time, bonus. So they were delivered to my door 2 days later, and then all I did was go into my bathroom and my kitchen and my dressing table and anywhere else in the house that had products, and got a big black bin bag and chucked thousands of pounds of stuff away, because I finally realised that was poison on me, my husband and my children's bodies. So I chucked it all in the black bin bag. That probably took me about half an hour, got rid of it, and then replaced the hand wash, the toothpaste, the shower gel, the shampoo, the makeup, my vitamins, my nutrition, my drinks, got rid of the coffee, and replaced it. And then it didn't take me any extra time to have a shower, because I was already showering anyway. So all I was doing was just opening a different bottle. It didn't take me any extra time to do my makeup, because I already did my makeup anyway. I just used different products and it was much better. So that didn't take me any extra time. What did take me extra time was people collaring me saying, oh my God, what are you using on your skin? Because the difference is transformational. Oh my God, what are you using vitamins and nutrition and minerals wise? Because you look amazing. You've lost so much weight. Not that I intended to lose weight. It's just that I was so unhealthy before that when I started being healthy, I lost a lot of weight. So people were like, oh my God. And the people would say, you used to come on the school run like tired, like no energy. And now you're like, woo! Morning everyone. So people were like, what are you doing? In fact, I'm going to go on school run in a few minutes actually. It's just gone 8:30. So people were like grabbing me and saying, what are you doing? So that, I will say, that did take a little bit more time. So I was saying, oh, I've started using this brand called Arbonne. These products are great. And people were going, oh my God, well, how do I get hold of them? And I was like, well, chill out. I was like, I've got a website, I've got a shop, I've got an online shop. What I'll do, let me just drop the kids off, drive back home. When I get back home, I'll send you the link to my website. And they were like, well, make sure you do it. Yeah, I will, chill out. So that's what I did. So that, I will say, did take a tiny little bit more time. People asking me and wanting to know what I was using, and then wanting to shop in my shop. So then I'd send them my shop. And sometimes people have questions as well. So once you send them your shop, people do have questions like, well, what foundation should I buy? Or what shampoo should I buy? And that's fine. So I was chatting to people on my phone, answering their messages or phone calls saying, well, what's your hair like? Is it greasy? Is it dry? Like, well, let's talk about this and let's work out what would be best for you. So that did take a little bit more time. And to be honest, in the beginning, I didn't know the answer to a lot of their questions. So then I'd have to go onto an app that Arbonne give you that is like the Google of Arbonne. So if somebody says to you, I've got dry skin, what should I use? In the beginning, you tend not to know the answer to that. So you go into the app, type it in, and it gives you the answer. So when you start this business, if you don't know anything about products, you've got something that gives you the answer to what you need. And then eventually you know it anyway. So you're just answering it quite quickly. So in the beginning, that does take a little bit longer. But if you're used to helping people anyway, and you're used to speaking to people or texting or emailing, answering questions, helping people, then that really isn't a skill that most people don't already have. Most people have that in the bag. Girls, just a few more minutes. So that then did that. So I also had to get stuck into training, because in the beginning I didn't know what I was doing, so I needed training. And even now I still have training. So once a week online on a Sunday night we have our team training. So on a Sunday night, once the kids are in bed, girls, just a few minutes. Once the kids are in bed, I go onto my online team training on my phone, on my iPad, on my laptop, whatever it is, and listen to the training. And sometimes I do the training as well. We take it in turns now. That wasn't like that in the beginning, but now it is. So I did have weekly team training online. And if I couldn't ever get on live, which I always endeavour to, because nothing like a live training call, because you can chat on it as well and you can interact with people. If I couldn't get onto it live, I'd listen to the recording. So that really helped build up my knowledge. It was like an Arbonne University. It was fantastic. So that really helped. Time-wise. And that's about, I'd say the only other thing really that takes up time is building friendships with people, which is my favourite part of this, because people come into your life that you don't know and say, I want to do what you do, can you teach me? And you say, yeah, of course. And to be honest, you're two strangers, and I'd say you want to build up that friendship. And now I love this. I love getting to know people, and some of my bestest friends now were strangers to me until they contacted me and said, teach me how to do what you do. So building those friendships take time. Going out for dinner with them, going out for coffee, on the phone, getting to know their family, having family days out together. And it's not, you don't have to do that. It's not a requirement of Arbonne. But I just think when you're working with someone, you've got a business partner, you want to get to know them. You want to become good friends with them, because you're going to be holidaying with them every year. You're going to be flying with them. You're going to be traveling with them. You're going to want to get to know them. So that does take time. That building up the friendships does take time. But my gosh, that is my favourite part, going out and getting to know people better, getting to know their family, taking your kids getting to know their kids, and your husband getting to know their husband, and it's just brilliant. It's absolutely the best thing. So it does take some sort of level of having to give up things in terms of time to build this business. So what I gave up was TV. I used to watch about 3, 4, 5 hours of TV every single evening, from like 5 o'clock right through to bedtime. TV. I gave up TV, okay, basically. That is the biggest thing I've given up. I gave up, just checking the time. Girls, get your shoes on, please. I gave up some time with my husband as well. So we used to have date night once a month. We gave that up for a short-term sacrifice for a long-term goal, because our long-term goal now is he was able to quit his job. We actually have daytimes together now as well as evenings. We go on holiday so many more times than what we ever used to. So we have so much more time together now as a family and as a couple than what we ever did, but it was a short-term sacrifice to get there. It took me 11 months to get to the third level of being all in, of like really being all in, not just dabbling with Arbonne. I was all in building this as a business. So it did take some level of sacrifice, some level of giving up some time to enable time to build my business, but it was worth it a gazillion million times over. So I hope that that's helped with the time element. As I said at the beginning, not everybody wants to have their own freedom. Not everybody wants to own their own life. Not everybody wants what Arbonne gives you, and that's okay. We don't need to judge those people. That is okay. We are not normal. We are the people that aren't normal, the people that want to own our own lives, the people that want to have an abundance of money coming in so that we can volunteer, so that we can give to charity, so we can help here, so that we don't have to ask to borrow any money for a mortgage. We can just buy a house, so that we can just buy a car, so that we can say yes to all the things we want to say to. We are the people outside of the norm. So don't judge people that don't mind having to ask a boss for time off, don't mind having to say no to their friends, no to this, no to that. That's okay. But for me, I was not okay with that. I was in the minority of people that was like, no way. I am going to make this work for me and my family. I'm going to show my daughters there's so much more to life than working for a boss for 40 years to then retire and live off 40% of what was not enough money during those 40 years of working anyway. So that is answering, I don't have enough time. I hope that helps. I hope that helps for some people. I build most of this on my phone, on the internet. So I fit it in around the kids like now. They're now waiting to go on the school run. We're going to go to school, aren't we?
Can I take my sweets with me, Mummy?
Maybe. She wants to take Farah's birthday's in August, and when the children have a birthday during school time, they get to bring sweets or a cake in for each of the kids to have one to celebrate their birthday. But because Farah's birthday is in August, she doesn't get to have that, and she never has done. So she had this genius idea. This is my entrepreneurial Arbonne-ness affecting her. She was like, Mummy, you know my birthday's in August and I don't get to give all the other kids a sweet, because she's really giving. Farah is such a giving person. She was like, can we take some in September and we can just pretend it was like my birthday, and we can just say it was last month, because I want to give them all something, because I've never been able to give them all something before. So this is the kind of thing that Arbonne rubs off on your children as well. It makes them more giving, it makes them more thoughtful, makes them think outside the box. You know, that is all her idea. So just brilliant. If you can carve time out to make this business work, if you can work out sort of 15 hours a week to make this business work, it will work if you make it work. So I hope that's answered. I don't have enough time. I'm off to do school.